Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at my first Power Rangers Dino Fury review. This is Boomtower. He is the only villain figure from the first wave of action figures. And you can see the back of the packaging just has Boomtower, and then it has the morpher, and then it shows you how the key interacts with the morpher. Now I don't have the morpher, so I'm not going to be able to show you how that interacts, but I will show off the key itself, just so we can take a look at that. Now the first wave of figures consists of the red, blue, and pink Rangers, and then of course Boomtower. There's no minions or any other Rangers in this wave, so kind of a limited first wave, but I'm assuming it'll ramp up soon as the other characters debut in the show. But I have to say, right off the bat, I think the packaging is really nice. I like the artwork here on the back of the card. Simple, bubble here. The figure's prominently displayed with the key. I feel like the Dino Fury logo is actually pretty small, though, and that kind of surprises me. Just says Power Rangers down here. It's almost like this could be anthology packaging, and they could start putting out all kinds of Rangers and often just say Power Rangers, and then whatever show they're from up here, and then just a quick little bit of artwork up here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing, characters from other shows, certainly Mighty Morphin. We saw last year a 3-pack with, I think it was Dino Thunder Blue, Mighty Morphin Red, and Dino Charge Pink. And they were all kind of in this size class. And I'm wondering if that was kind of a test to see how that sold. I could easily see them doing more figures like that in this kind of packaging and having it just say Power Rangers here and then whatever show they're from up here in the corner. So only time will tell. So we'll see how that goes. Now I don't know if the other figures would have keys or not, but they could figure that out later. But anyway, packaging's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get Boomtower out of this packaging, and we're going to take a closer look. So here is Boomtower out of the packaging, and for the most part, I think he looks pretty cool. Paint applications are definitely sharp. You have some nice red here for the belt. You have the gold here for these spikes on the side. You have the crest on the top of his head, nicely painted yellow. Try to get a close-up look at that head sculpt. Not much to it. Doesn't have really a mouth at all, but nicely painted blue face and red eyes. You can see he's got these hollow foil stickers here on the shoulders. At first I wasn't too crazy about them, but, the light catches them and they're fun and sparkly, so why not? Some nice yellow paint right here. Overall, I think he's a fun design. Now, we haven't even seen him on the show yet, so it's kind of interesting that he made it to the first wave before Void Knight or Fungus, I think the mushroom guy's name is called, or Mucus, something like that. I can't remember. So it's a little weird that he got, the first treatment, but overall, he's a pretty cool design. I like him. Articulation-wise, let's see. Can the head move? Kinda. It can kind of move side to side, but it's pretty tight. Not really, doesn't really have anywhere to look. He's just got giant shoulder pads, so his field of vision would probably be pretty limited anyway. Kind of has to turn his whole body to look around kind of guy. We have movement here in the shoulders, but it's going to hit on these big shoulder pads here. No out to the side movement, which I would have liked, but what are you going to do? Does have a swivel and 90-degree bend in the elbows. Nothing in the wrist. Looks like the forearm is one solid piece, but you have that spin there at the elbow. Nothing in the waist. The legs kick forward, although I had to basically unhook mine. They're pretty, might have been painted sealed, I'm not sure about that. But they kick forward, as you can see. And then for the knees, you do have the hinge and swivel there, very much like the elbows. Nothing in the ankles or anything like that. So I wish he had out to the side shoulder movement and out to the side waist movement, or hip movement rather, but other than that, pretty cool. Beast Morphers last year, the villains didn't have any hip movement either, so, well, not out to the side hip movement anyway, they could all kick forward. Comes with this giant bladed weapon here, pretty cool. Reminds me of like a giant rook from a chess set, which is kind of his whole motif, so I think that works. But yeah, it's just cast in silver gray plastic, no paint or anything. But he looks cool. Now he is about 6 inches, and I don't have any of the Ranger figures. I'm really kind of holding out hope that they're going to get done in the Lightning collection. I'm thinking about maybe picking up the Pink Ranger, because I feel like if any one of them is not going to get done in the Lightning collection, it's going to be her, which is a shame. But I'm holding out hope for the other two so I don't duplicate figures. With Beast Morphers, I ended up getting, the regular 6-inch and the Lightning collection for you know, half the team, and I didn't really need to do that, so I'm kind of holding out hope and gonna wait a little bit. I'm sure they'll be around if I have to go back and find them, but overall, he looks pretty good. Now, the only thing I have to compare him to right now is a Udo figure, which obviously does not scale well at all. I was hoping maybe it would be a little bit closer. That way you could be like, well, monsters are meant to be bigger, but unfortunately not really the case here. So, but overall, he's a pretty cool little figure. Let's go ahead and check out that key that he comes with. So here's the key, and you can see the holofoil sticker. The light plays all over it to give you that fun rainbow effect, which is kind of neat. But basically, it looks like a tiny version of Boomtower. You can see the sword over here. The face looks like him, and the chest is like him. He's got a shield here that the figure doesn't otherwise have, and then his legs. And then if we spin it around to the back, you can see you get this head, and this is meant to work and be compatible with the Zords, so you could switch this in as a different possible head. I like that they painted it as much as they did. I really didn't expect to get this much paint on the back. You have some nice blue here with a red eye for the dinosaur head there, and then you still have the blue painted face and the red eyes, which are very similar to his actual head. So it's actually got a little bit more blue paint on this face than he does on this face. That's kind of cool. So, I mean, it's okay. I think if you're going to get the Zords, I think this will be fun to use as an alternate head for the Zords. As far as, you know, this part goes, you know, it's okay. It's a fun holofoil sticker, but when you compare it to, like, the actual Ryusols we got in the Japanese version, they're night and day. And I don't really think they're comparable, but if I, you know, it's not necessarily fair to compare it to those, so if I'm just looking at this as a purely American toy and not saying it's based on anything, even though it obviously is, it's okay. I mean, just doing everything with one big sticker instead of having molded in detail obviously is a cost-saving measure. I don't think it's that great, especially considering the torso is so ridiculously large because it has to be for the size of the head. And then, you know, having the legs very tiny because the key gimmick, it lends to weird proportions, and so it looks a little off there. And again, I don't have the morpher to try this in, but if you plug it in from videos I've seen online, it makes like a fart sound. So, you know, that is what it is. So the key is okay. I don't think they're as good as the Japanese ones, but again, is it really fair to compare them? I don't know. Judging this on its own, as someone who's probably not going to get the morpher, this doesn't do much for me. If you are going to get the morpher, then, you know, obviously there's more functionality there. I may get at least the T-Rex Zord, and if that's the case, then maybe I can swap this out as a different head, and then that might bring some more functionality to it, which might give it a little bit more value. We'll see. Only time will tell on that. But as it is, you know, this is kind of meh. So overall, for what you get, I think this is definitely worth a $10 value. I got this on Amazon for $10, and I think that's fair. Honestly, I think he's a pretty good 6-inch action figure with nice paint applications, decent articulation. The weapon is actually really cool. Like I said, I don't really care that much about the key, but depending on if I get the mecha, maybe that'll come into play more and I'll get some value out of that later on. But even if I kind of just threw that away, I think this guy is fine. Now, obviously, I would love to just throw the key away and trade it out for enhanced shoulder and hip articulation, and then this guy would be kind of perfect. But otherwise, yeah, I'm happy with it for $10. I think it's a perfectly fine action figure for $10. I think the price is fair, and if you have the morpher or the mecha, you can get some more functionality out of that key. But even if you're just paying $10 for just this action figure, I think that's pretty fair. I think he looks good. Again, decent paint applications, decent articulation. And, you know, he's a monster figure. I like to collect the monster figures because I feel like they don't get enough love in action figure lines, especially for Power Rangers, which I guess makes sense. The show's called Power Rangers, not Monsters. I get it. But anyway, I like to see some monster figures every once in a while because you could always use them with other lines or things like that. I really wish it was a little bit more in scale with the Udo figures because then I would definitely get more use out of them. But unfortunately, it's just a little too off. If it was about there, I could maybe make the case, well, monsters are a little bit bigger, but it's just a little bit too much, unfortunately. So one day I'll probably get either a Lightning Collection or a normal 6-inch figure from the line. We'll see which comes out. And, well, I know, obviously, we know the one figures are out. I'll wait and see if the Lightning Collection comes out is what I mean to say. In any case, I'm rambling at this point. So I think it's a good figure. I think the price is fair. I recommend picking them up. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.